Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome again to The Drop. I am joined per usual with the one, the only, Jordan.
What's
up, G?
How you doing?
I'm great, dude. It's so nice out.
It's like nice summer, spring.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
75 degrees out. Woo-hoo, baby.
Yeah. Yesterday was actually like kind of hot.
Yeah.
Lots of yard work, lots of mowing.
I saw you planted some stuff that your kid just unplanted for you.
He did just unplant it. You could call it unplanting.
What was that? What plant was that?
I don't know. Geraniums or something like that? I don't know. There's some sort of a lily. I don't know.
Shit.
They were like overgrowth of plants at my brother-in-law's, so we went and grabbed it. But anyway, welcome everybody. This is going to be kind of an interesting episode. So I was like, we were kind of brainstorming ideas, and then earlier today, the Bomb Hole had posted that they thought if rail jam should be an Olympic sport. And that just got me thinking, period, should snowboarding at all be an Olympic sport? Let's just start with this. What do you think? Yes or no?
Well, as of right now, snowboarding is just half pipe and slope style, correct? Or is slope style even in it yet?
Border cross.
And border cross. But slope is Olympics. That was the newest added thing to it, right?
A
few years ago, I think. Because
yeah.
when Red won, it was like the first time I think there was a slope style.
No, Sage. Kotzenberg.
Okay.
But I mean, still, it's tough to remember. It's also crazy that was like 12 years ago that Sage won it, or 10 years ago. I don't know.
Time flies and you're having a good time, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyways, we're gonna get into that in a bit. But first things first, guys, make sure you check the website. We have the website up, thedropsnowboarding.com. We've got all kinds of good stuff on there. Actually, this needs to be refreshed, I believe. Latest episode. Also, of course, we have the store. Make sure you guys go and support. We got a bunch of freaking good stuff up on here, I think. I keep trying to scroll down. I got an old mouse. But anyway. Oh, there we go. Hoodies. Man, perfect time in the summer. You're definitely going to be wanting a t-shirt right now. But hey, it still gets cold at night. Make sure you pop in with a hoodie. But also, of course, we have links to the Instagram, links to the YouTube, links to the Patreon, and links to our TikTok. So if you guys feel like supporting in any way, leave a comment in any there and let us know. Also, last week we kind of started a fun little thing where we're kind of going to, we saw some stuff that week, and we're going to kind of tag it / give them a shout out because we thought it was cool. And this week, Jordan.
Yeah, what are we calling this section again? Is it things we like?
Yeah, things we're down, things we thought were cool. Ooh, look at that. It's my
how hard a 50-50 is on a rail on a snow skate? I think it's harder than you think.
I have no idea.
Look at this line, dude.
For the listeners.
Board. Whoo!
So for the listeners, this is Alan Gerlach riding at King Vale, and just doing like a sweet line together. But yeah, 50-50s this down rail. Ollie's over this sort of, what would you call that? A closeout?
Yeah. Before that, though, we did the jammy on the
tube.
Yeah.
And then front board on a freaking kink rail. On a snow skate.
Yeah. That was so sick.
You're pretty good homies with Alan, right?
Yep. Yeah, big fan, dude. Whenever I get to go hit the street spots, it's always fun to go out with him. So sick. But it's cool to see him throw up a front board again. I want to see another one on the street rail like he had. Gosh, that was probably 15 years ago, that Quebec rail.
Yeah.
Like the no-jump front board.
Yeah, that was on like a regular snow skate too, not on like the bi-deck.
Yeah, bi-deck is kind of mountain style.
He does them both.
He does both.
He's insanely good.
I think he just came out with a pro model with like draw snow skates.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, dude's sick. I got one of his snow skates at home for when I get out.
Yeah, right. I know. I have mine down here, and I didn't even get to ride it this year. I was having too much fun on my board.
That's true. Well, we had no snow either. I feel like a snow skate's a nice thing to take out when you get some fresh snow.
Yeah.
Ride it down the hill when your kids are sledding, maybe.
True.
At a spot.
When the kids are messing around, you can be snow skating.
Well, a lot of the resorts, especially if it's a single deck, like they're not letting you on hill.
Mm-hmm.
So there's rules.
I wonder how hard it is to ride up the fast rope tow at Highland
on a
snow
single
skate.
deck? Single deck or bi-deck?
Either.
Single deck, I think, would be really hard.
Oh man, I feel like both of them would be insanely hard.
Well, bi-deck, if you've been on one, it moves like a skateboard.
But it slips out so easy.
That's true.
Like that's what I've noticed. Like I really use the
so
edge
sick.
on a bi-deck one. But anyway, all right. And then moving on, I thought for this week, Brain Bowl sessions. So this just went down. Max Worthington. This was a little follow of him through. So this is at Mount Baker, the one they did this year, and all of these features are hand built. He's just like cooking into this spine, goes straight over it, then through a tunnel into a laid out baggie. If you guys aren't following Brain Bowl sessions, make sure you do that, and also make sure you follow along with 69 Max 420. Yeah. Anyways, Brain Bowl sessions look super fun. It's just like DIY and cool and all hand built. I don't know. I think it's really cool. Something that's really like core in snowboarding.
That line was cool. Holy shit.
No, it looks super fun. I did the one in Tahoe a few years ago, and it was a blast. So, if you guys get a chance to make it to one of these things, make sure you do it.
Is it like a week build kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that they just say, hey, we're going up there Thursday, and we'll be there through Monday. They even had the tow pro brought out, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they just bring out a bunch of different people, or they kind of just say we're going, and then whoever wants to come and build can come and build. But anyway, so yeah, Brain Bowl sessions. Okay. Now that was obviously a pretty DIY and kind of a core snowboard event right there. Mm-hmm. But there's one event that is the absolute complete opposite of that. And that is
topic of the day, the Olympics.
Les Olympics. Okay.
So you got all sparked on this because the question that Bombhole asked was, do you think a rail jam is okay for Olympics?
I've been going back and forth with this question the whole time, all day. And the reason is because do I want snowboarding to get bigger and be more mainstream and be more successful? And do I want people's minds to be enlightened to other types of snowboarding, right? Doing rails, street snowboarding, things like that. So I think it would be cool in that way. But I did read a comment. I don't remember who it was, but it made a really, really good point. And their comment was there should only be snowboarding and like racing. I'm sorry, not snowboarding, but only be half pipe and racing in the Olympics because they're the two things where it's a consistent venue, right? There's not much more room for interpretation. Like racing, all the people go, one person is the fastest, they're the winner, right? Half pipe, there's certain guidelines, height, spin, maneuver, counting, flips, whatever you want to call it, but it's always just one half pipe, right?
They could make it though where it's like 40 foot down rail, 30 foot down, flat down, hubbalet. They could figure
like
something out.
Have a standardized slopestyle course.
If that's the argument, then yeah, I think it could be standardized if need be.
I mean, it could be, yeah, like every single Grand Prix in Mammoth, every single slope style qualifying event would be a 30-foot down bar into a 40-foot kink rail, into a rainbow rail, into a 50-foot jump, then a 60-foot jump, then a 70-foot jump. And that was it. Just every contest was
if you're saying like same. Venue has to be the same, that'd be the, you know what I mean? It doesn't really, I don't know if I agree with that because I think, look at skateboarding. Like they did skateboarding street last year and that kind of worked out. Same with slope. Like it's going to be different. Just like a rail jam is going to be different. Just like any slope style course is. Or any bobsled course, or there's so many variables in there.
But my only concern is all like bobsledding, for example, is just a racing event. So there's no room for interpretation. Where it gets tricky is one judge, and between the however many judges, one person may think one person's grab looks cooler than another, and it costs somebody the win. You can't change that in. Like whoever the fastest person is in bobsled or whatever is the fastest person. And whatever other sport, there's no room for interpretation on who the winner is. Like I remember watching the Olympics a few years ago and watching some people do like 1800s or 1620s, and they made them look so simple that they looked like other people's 1440s. And so then when you revert back and then this person won, but they kind of like scrubbed it, and even though it shouldn't have been such a high score, because it looked harder, because that person made it look harder, they scored them higher for what actually wasn't as good of a trick. So because of that, it leaves open interpretation. I mean, I think halfpipe does too, but at least every single event is just a 500 yard. I don't know how long they are, but usually 6 hits they get in a halfpipe. Yeah. But it's those exact same hits. 1 hit, 2 or 3, and then there's like more. The halfpipe is always the same, I guess you could say. But I don't know.
Well, there's going to be variables in anything. I mean, I think that's what makes an athlete, but that goes into the Olympics where that's like a sport. Like that side of snowboarding is sport snowboarding. So I think the question is kind of also like, should rail jams be in sport snowboarding? I don't know who's to like decide that. But like even X Games last year, it was pretty. Some of it was judged well. Some of it was judged pretty poorly. I feel like some girls got overlooked in the street session that they had.
Big popularity contest out there. A lot of times it seems like.
But that's kind of all contests. I don't know. Like,
well, see, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, personally, I don't think snowboarding should be in the Olympics at all. And only at all. And that's simply because there's too much room for interpretation, right? Like with every single other sport, there is no room for interpretation. You know what their score is. You know what your maximum score going into it is. Even sports like diving, like your X amount of dives that you do all have particular scores. If you do it with a certain, like the way you hold your legs, it's a certain score. If your entry is it's all relative and it's all calculated to like the most minimal pointage. If like obviously racing, there is no interpretation when it comes to racing. It's whoever was the fastest, first, second, third, whatever. But with skateboarding and snowboarding, you're leaving it up to not the person competing, but the people that are judging the person competing.
But that's like ice skating. That's like diving even has the same thing.
But they don't, because each one of those interpretations has a certain score system. Like if you do I'm throwing out names here, but like a triple Lux or Lutz or whatever but has a certain score.
Performed not well scores the same as performed well.
No, but there's only like fractions of a point that differentiate it. So as opposed to like certain people could have like a whole 2-point difference in snowboarding for like the same trick. Like in those sports, I believe the margin for interpretation is just super small and minimal. I don't know. That's what I think, at least.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that all sports that aren't just racing in the Olympics have a bit of that, there's
gray
judges that get to decide. And even like, someone could do the exact same run on skates, but they're going to get a fraction of a point less and they're going to lose because they maybe didn't go as high on their triple axel or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe if they were to do it, then there has to be communication with the athletes as to like what scoring looks like, you know what I mean? To kind of have some understanding, which maybe they do. I mean, I wouldn't be super like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, rail jam. But like if I saw the homie, like the Fava bros out there, like ripping Olympics and winning money and like getting paid, I think that's cool.
Well, this is a tough thing too about snowboarding, right? Is like, let's say that you see somebody do, like I'm trying to think of like two people just as examples, but I don't like throw anybody under the bus or say anything. But there's obviously like people that are incredibly good at style and make a backside nose press look better than a 360 onto a rail. And so in that way, it's like, what scores higher? A dude who is doing like perfect pressing, maybe lower technicality of tricks, but just makes it look so good. Like a front board from the person through the kink would just be like so much sicker than somebody doing like a 270 on gap on the kink. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that would just get really, really hairy for me when it comes to like rail jams per se. I mean, even the same thing goes with me when it comes to like the slope style stuff. Like dudes will do like ridiculous 450s over stuff, you know what I mean? But then Dusty Hendrickson will do like that hand drag, like nose grab over the rainbow rail. And that's like, it's so sick looking. But on the difficulty scale, it's like nothing compared to some of the other stuff, you know? So it's, I don't know.
But that's what kind of makes competition fun in a way too. I mean, that's why maybe we're not doing those kinds of events and maybe didn't do a bunch of, you know what I mean? I don't know. There's some levels of it. Like, I remember doing rail jams and it was like you'd kind of try to do a hard trick and then try to do like a trick that just looked good, and then you kind of go back and forth, and sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. Where I think that's just part of competition in general. There's going to be so many opinions stuck in there.
Well, the other kind of the other question would be is like, would it be like a hike, like jam session? It's 30 minutes. Everyone just goes ham, you know? Or is it like Do Tour style where they did like the slope, like the rail slope, whatever. I forget what their actual.
And they get 3 tries or something, right?
Yeah, and it's like you get 3 runs to like put together, like.
Well, judging on
then you're adding a bunch of like weird pressure that involves consistency, you know.
But it's kind of like, look at how they did it with skateboarding, where it was like 2 runs to lock one in, and then your third one counts on top of that or something.
Yeah, is it done like Street League?
I think so.
Yeah.
But then I know even with Best Trick, it was like that too. So some people are like, well, I got to just put one down, land it, and then try a harder trick. So it's like there's all these goofy little things. But I think if you're throwing yourself into that arena, you know what you're getting yourself into.
Knowing the Olympics, it would be like remember how X Games, it's like, oh, it's a 20-minute jam session, but we're making it very clear that we're scheduling when these guys are dropping. So it's not really a jam session at all. It's like you get 5 hits. There you go.
Yeah, that's true. Well, then they extended some of it too. I think if they were to do a rail jam, which I don't even know if that's a thing they're talking about, right? Is that even like a thing?
Or I don't think it is, but
it's a fun topic. I mean, I think like you'd have to have the rope toes like almost centered so people could get in and out like no matter where they go.
They'd have to have it at
let them fucking go. Like, no, wait up, dude. Because if it's Olympics, like I kind of want to see some gladiator shit, right? Like that's what the Olympics started from, was like, who's the best?
Yeah. Only one man alive.
Yeah, dude. Like maybe give them some weapons out there and see who can really fucking put it down.
Just people are out there whacking shins with edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be very exciting to watch.
I don't know. Like I don't know how to make.
You want to get those TV ratings up?
Yep.
There it is. NBC. I don't even know who does the Olympics anymore. Summer Olympics is coming up though, so that'll be fun. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really liked snowboarding in the Olympics. Period. I mean, I guess when I was a kid, it was fun to watch. It was cool because it was like, oh my gosh, it's more snowboarding to watch. But at the same time, I just like, I don't know. There's just a huge part of me inside that still thinks snowboarding is like an art form and like a fun thing, not a serious competition thing, which obviously it is now. I mean, everything's going to be, right? But I don't know. It just kind of defeats the point. Well, okay.
But do you want snowboarding to grow? Like snowboarding wouldn't be where it's at without some of this stuff probably too.
No, certainly not.
Like Shaun White being a household name, like that brings people out to buy snowboards and be a part of it. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
At all. You know, I used to do contests in USASA, and it was like at that route in my life where it was like, do I go this route, competition? Like, do I want to subject myself to that, or do you continue where you want to go and try to film video parts? And that was more fun. So it's like,
yeah,
let them do their thing, because who the fuck am I going to say who gets to do whatever? But I like this avenue. So who am I? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, what even is it anymore? I mean, is it? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Because there's not even videos. Like, there's rarely videos anymore.
Like it's an avenue to go down anymore.
TikTok clips or what? You know what I mean? Oh, my clip got likes. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very, it's really strange. Look, Olympics in snowboarding. Snowboarding in the Olympics is definitely bringing more attention to snowboarding. So in that way, it's great. I do think that if you look at one side of the coin, if it's slope style in the Olympics, rail jam in the Olympics, more people are going to now understand what street snowboarding or street style snowboarding is more all about, kind of like how skateboarding has been doing it. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Is it a bad thing? I don't know.
I think it'd be good because that brings people that don't know anything about it. Like, how many regular people that don't snowboard have you explained, like, oh, this is what I do? And they're like, I don't get it. They might watch a video and they're like, skateboarding on snow. And you're like, yes, exactly. Like, that could open that up to more people to kind of see what that looks like.
But then they just ask you, oh, do you do that? Like, how many times, like, if I told somebody I was a pro snowboarder, like, oh, do you do X Games? And I'm like, no, you know? So I think you'd still have that question. You'd still have that.
Well, for sure. But then you're just like, well, I'm not at that level anymore. Like, I'm just a boarder, like doing it for fun, you know?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because it's just different. Like, if you were in the heat of it, like, all right, trying to be the best, like be the best at this, then yeah, why, you know, look at how many pros that we respected, like went and did X Games Street, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's an avenue. Yeah. Because that's like an avenue and, you know, brings people to snowboarding, brings people to like their brand of snowboarding.
But don't you think X Games is different than Olympics?
I think I don't know.
Like, X Games was kind of like the not Olympics. That was like why we liked it, why it was successful, why it was cool. I'm not saying that I wasn't an Olympic guy. I just think that there's two separate things. I think that there's Olympic athletes and I think that there's like extreme athletes, snowboarding, skate, you know, there's that sort of thing. I think it's two completely different things.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're pretty similar in a way. But I mean, look, nowadays, if you're going to say like X Games isn't corporate, like Wendy's sponsors it. And but it was always like that. We just were maybe younger when we're like, oh, dude, Mountain Dew, sick. Like, I'm 6 years old. I want to drink Mountain Dew, you know? Taco Bell, like, dude, ring the bell and eat fire sauce. Extreme, let's go shred. Like, you know, I think we were at that younger age where it was just like, oh, this is cool, you know? But then you see Olympics as like, I have to wait for figure skating to get done in order to watch, you know, half pipe. Yeah. And, you know, but then there were people like Danny Cass that made it interesting. You're like, dude, I'm a big fan of this dude. It's freaking pretty rad to watch him go out there with no, that was Heike Sorsa that had the mohawk. Yep. But just, you know, the Misfit sticker on his board doing fucking 20-foot air to fakies. Like, I was a fan, like, to put that down, like, under that pressure, like, more respect to that, you know? Yeah, no, you're definitely right about that. And if anything, you're drawing more attention into snowboarding. And but would you rather see, I'd rather see like that brand doing it. It's one event if they have to go do. If it's going to be happening, you want the right people in there doing it. And do it right. But I think there's a whole thing with like FIS too that gets a little blur, like kind of tricky because that's kind of like a weird skier organization that runs this whole thing. We can't talk about FIS or else the show will get removed from YouTube. It's pretty ridiculous, actually. Damn. At least to my no. I cut that out. No. I'm just like last year with my old show, we did we pulled a clip from like somebody's run. It was on Instagram. It wasn't like we like stole it from somewhere. It was just like a video on Instagram that we just played on the show, and we got like a cease and desist and like had to have the show like removed from YouTube and like the whole thing. So I don't know. I mean, it just goes back to FIS or whatever. They're a bunch of jerks. I don't know. I don't know if they're the ones we want in control of snowboarding, but I don't even really know too much about them. Like, yeah, me either. The Federation of International Skiing or something like that. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I know that the slopestyle and stuff like that has to conform to their rules, but I'm not exactly sure what those rules entail. So I don't know. But they still drug testing? Oh yeah, I definitely know they definitely still have drug testing. I remember when I lived with Brendan Gerard, Red came and stayed with us, and that he like. Not that he was like doing anything bad, but like he would like, I don't remember if he would get like a little text or something that he had to like meet somebody somewhere and he had to go like drug test right then and there, right with them. There's like groups of people that like follow all the athletes around and like test them. Like, could you imagine if that was your job? You're like, all right, go drive to South Lake to go test Jamie Anderson right now. And go, okay. Hit him at 9:00 at night. Just like, it's like all kinds of times. Yeah. That's crazy. So it's, if you choose that life, you choose that life, I think. And then I don't know. True. I mean, would you watch it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely watch
So
it.
you'd support it though.
I mean, but I'm not supporting the Olympics. I'm supporting like my friend who's competing in the Olympics.
That's
If that makes sense. Like if they were doing random competition week 13 in wherever, I would be watching it, just like I try to watch like all the different opens, European Open, whatever. Like I try and just watch snowboarding because I'm just a consumer of snowboarding. What the event is doesn't really matter to me. I just like watching cool boarding.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, obviously, yeah, when it's under the Olympic, when it's blown up to the size of the Olympics and it's on such a huge scale, it gets pretty crazy. It definitely draws more attention.
It's true.
I have actually one more question for you in regards to it. Do you think that snowboarding was brought into the Olympics simply to raise viewership because the Olympics were getting really boring and stale?
For sure.
Yeah. Same with skateboarding.
Same with X Games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a lot of those things. It's like there's someone with money trying to make more money, like behind a lot of this stuff. Yeah.
I've just always found it interesting. I guess every sport kind of gets used, but it was just so strange that like, why would you choose snowboarding, especially when you have like old school hosts like that Bob Costas dude or whatever, like talking mad shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like he doesn't want it to be there. And we know he doesn't want it to be there, which is fine. But then he has to sit there and pretend like he does want it there. And I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
But
I think they switch it up though and kind of put regular hosts that are a part of that now, right? I think that's changed a lot over the years.
Yeah, but you still have like your main, like Bob Costas wasn't like the snowboard announcer. He was just like the host of the Olympics or whatever, right? So in between events, he'd be like, now we're going to cut over to Bill Rodham Ice Arena for the men's all around and such and such and such. And then he's like, oh, what a great competition. Now let's bounce on over to the Pyongyang Big Air or whatever,
Yeah.
So he wasn't like one of the commentators for snowboarding. Thank goodness we have Todd Richards. I hope he still is. I think he got in a little hot water last Olympics.
Was it Olympics or X Games?
No, it was the Olympics. Because that one Japanese dude did the triple, and then he did like that massive frontside air or whatever, and he was in like third place after that. And he was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and that's like one of those parts where I like go back and I'm like, their reason for judging that is, well, we know that he can do better. It's like, well, if his not the best is still better than everyone else's, then he should still be in first place, not in third.
Yeah,
like,
it sounds honestly just like fucking bad judges.
No, what it sounds like is I think what it was is I think that the producers need to like build drama. And I think that that's one of the lame things about it. Like even in the men's slopestyle, like I want Red to win, But in the men's slopestyle, I remember watching Red's run, and he does like a switch backside 1620, and his very first run was like insane. His first run should have been like a 96 or something that would have been in first place. Mm-hmm. But the judging logic was, well, we know that he can do the 18 on the last jump, so let's not score him as high. And it's like, well, that's whack, because now this dude just put down his insane run, but you told him that his insane run wasn't good enough, so now he's doing a bunch of tricks that he's not comfortable with to try and do better. When in reality, his very first run was the sickest run of the day out of the whole competition, but they put him in fourth place with it, But we know that he can do better. It doesn't matter if he can do 2190s. You know what I mean? Like, that day, he just needed to do what was better than everyone else's, which is what he did, Yeah,
that sucks.
And so it's really frustrating that the way they judged him was, well, we know that he has a better run in him.
Did they say that? Like, was that a true statement?
I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
That was like part of it,
Because I mean, how many just contests in general though have you been to where you're like, dude, that dude should have fucking won. That dude should have.
All the time.
It's all the time.
But also, and going back to when we were talking about like the rail jam thing, like doing rail jams in the past, like I knew who the dudes were that were gonna win. Like you just know who's on that day, who's killing it, who's doing what, like, and who's just like, oh my god, dude, like. Brandon Hobush like was a big one when I was doing rail jams. Like Hobush would go out there and he would do like insane tricks like first try. So you're like, okay, like even RP, like he would just do like crazy tricks and you're like, yeah, I just did a backside lip slide and he just backside 360'd on that thing. Like he's definitely doing better than me today. So and you know it. I don't know how it is when it's like those super when all the dudes are insanely good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've seen some of those. They're pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
Be a part of.
Yeah. Yeah, you did Downtown Throwdown a couple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a few contests.
It was fun. I liked it. It was nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I mean, I had the mentality just trying to have fun hanging out with my friends. It's a lot of fun doing that. But I was never like, dude, I need to fucking win. But that was just where I was at.
No, I was kind of the same way. I think I was the exact same way, only if I was feeling like I'm actually riding really good right now, I'm going to try, you know?
Yeah.
That was kind of where I was. But I always went in with like I'm just going to go mess around. And if I'm feeling it today, I'm feeling it.
Yeah. Well, it was fun. I'm coming to Minneapolis. Like when you lived out in Tahoe. Oh, sick. We get to hang out for a weekend. Like that was always fun.
Sick for sure. Okay. To wrap this up, let's finish it off. Let's answer the bomb holes question. Should rail jams be in the Olympics?
I'm going to go with yes. I would like to watch it, as I think most people would watch it.
Okay. And
unpopular opinion.
I'm going to go with the gray answer here. I'm going to go with yes, because I would too. I would like to watch it. I would be watching it. So yes, it would be cool to see it in there. Does the snowboarder in me wish that snowboarding wasn't in the Olympics, period? Yes. So it's a yes because it's already part of the Olympics. So yes, I want to watch it, but it's a no that I wish it had never been in the Olympics in the first place.
I get that. I'm kind of there with you.
So yeah. Anyway.
We kind of swayed each other a little bit.
I'm curious what you guys think.
Leave in the comments.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I mean, leave it in the bomb holes comments. I mean,
yeah,
because we could just read it in there too. But I'm curious what you guys think about snowboarding in the Olympics, just in general too. Mm-hmm. And also, like, what's your guys' favorite contest to watch?
Well, and what would you do to make it legit? Like, what would you do to make the Olympics cool in snowboarding?
Yeah, cool, fair, make it on the same playing field for everybody. I don't know. Leave it in the comments.
There we go.
All right. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for hanging.
Thanks,
and
Doc.
I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And until next time, we'll check you then. Leave comments and say what up. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Adios.
Later, dudes and dudettes.